What's up guys, Spencer here, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how we can improve advertising with a little something known as the narrative paradigm theory. Now for those of you who don't know, let me explain a little bit about what narrative paradigm actually is. Narrative paradigm is a theory that was developed by Walter Fisher. This theory basically states that people view rhetoric through a narrative lens. According to theorist Ching Chang, which is the most stereotypical Asian name I've ever heard of, that it doesn't even sound real, a narrative can be defined as one or more episodes consisting of actors engaged in actions to achieve goals. This is basically the idea that we are persuaded through narrative rather than rationale. What that basically means is that instead of coming to our decisions based off of good arguments, good logic, we actually come to our best decisions by good reasoning. And we come to this good reasoning based off of coherence and fidelity. Fisher believes that human beings are essentially storytellers. So in other words, what this theory is basically stating is that people come to their decisions and are persuaded based on good stories. Stories that they can relate to and they can understand and comprehend. When we look closely, we can actually see that something like advertising uses narrative paradigm very strongly, even if they don't realize it. And we can actually improve advertising even better and figure out how to sell products better using narrative paradigm theory if we apply it. A great example we can use to look at this idea is fragrance advertisements. If there was any type of commercial that really truly told a story about what it can do for you if you buy their product, it is a fragrance ad. Let's take a look at two specific advertisements that, while they are very, very different in detail, they still have the basic main idea narrative. First, we're going to take a look at an advertisement for Axe body spray. Next, we're going to take a look at the advertisement for Bleu de Chanel. Let's take a look at this advertisement for Axe body spray, and let's see if we can analyze the narrative that is implied. We start off with what is seemingly a homeless man just wandering through an alley, and then we cut into a very hot chick coming out of a convertible. Now, this homeless man is digging through a trash can and finds a can of Axe, while the hot girl is looking at a biker, obviously. The homeless man sprays on the Axe, and next thing you know, the woman is immediately drawn into this scent which she has picked up. And before you know it, she finds herself uncontrollably drawn to the homeless guy. And before you know it, she's rubbing herself on him and giving him all the sexual desire he's been looking for that he would never get without a can of Axe. End of story. Now, many of the viewers who are watching this may not have even realized it, but as I pointed out, we were watching a story the whole time. Basically, the story that we were getting was that a man was once lost, hungry, weary, and completely deprived of any sexual pleasure. One day he comes across Axe body spray, and with one spray, he immediately has beautiful women just flocking to him, ready to fulfill every sexual desire he has ever had. And thus he lived, happily ever after. This advertisement's narrative is pretty straightforward and pretty easy to see through. But not every advertisement has the narrative this obvious and this direct. Let's take a look at the advertisement for Bleu de Chanel and see that while I'm pretty sure the narrative of this advertisement is basically the same, the details of it are much different. So we have an attractive female and man doing some sort of film art, and now they're in some kind of press conference, and it appears that they're both very high class, maybe even a part of popular culture, at least the man is, and
I'm not going to be the person I'm expected to be anymore.
Okay, and apparently the walls fall around him as he walks away after that macho statement. Alright then. So it seems that the narrative of this particular advertisement is very different from the Axe commercial. It seems that what this commercial is basically stating is that through this product, you can become a part of high-class society, a part of popular culture, if you will. But even though you're part of popular culture, you don't conform to the system. In fact, you can still be a rebel, be unexpected, as they said. and you can be, as this guy said,
Not going to be the person I'm expected to be anymore.
Thank you, macho man, wavy-haired version of David Beckham. Basically, what all of these advertisements have in common is that they're trying to offer a narrative, happy story to their potential buyers. In other words, what they're trying to tell their potential buyers is that if they buy their product, they too will experience a happy story. The important question to ask is, do both of these stories reign true, and do they relate to the customer? In other words, to the viewer, does this advertisement hold coherence and fidelity? It is also important to remember that the narrative paradigm theory itself actually explains why advertisements will not work on all people. The reason being that many people will view this advertisement and not see it as truthful and humane. It is my belief that by applying narrative paradigm, we can actually make advertising more effective. The best way to do this is through proper research and analysis, figuring out what kind of demographic the product is supposed to appeal to, and therefore figuring out what narrative is the most appropriate for the advertisement. Therefore, the advertisement will hold more coherence and fidelity to the particular demographic that it is being marketed to. This will produce an effect that I personally like to refer to as happily ever after. The happily ever after effect is the idea that a viewer gets from an advertisement that by purchasing this product, it will give their life, their story, their personal narrative, the happily ever after that everybody wants to get. What that actual happily ever after is completely up to the viewer. Once this effect is put into motion, the advertisement will be far more effective, and therefore, sales will increase. And guys, that is how I believe narrative paradigm can be used to improve marketing and advertising. And thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And, I am curious about something though. I wonder if this thing actually does work the way it's advertised. Guess it doesn't work. Hey, what do you know? It does work. All right, thanks guys. See you later. Gotta go.